Y'all ain't gonna be ready for this one, my dog. For real. Y'all are not gonna be ready for this one at all. At all. Cause I'm about to make this math for y'all. Ooh, bars. Like, Zakiya, I think you have on enough lip gloss. Shh. Hello. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode because I'm actually pretty excited to do this one. I'm pretty happy about doing this one. I have a pen, a Sharpie, and a piece of paper because I'm doing some math for you girls and boys. And I am talking to you today on this episode about the business of social media marketing, all this Instagram followers, all this other stuff, and how these major brands and corporations are scamming you. I'm not saying all of these brands and major corporations, but a lot of them are scamming y'all. Let me just say this right now up front, okay? Well, you just saying that because you don't have a lot of followers, and so and blah and all this stuff. Baby, go look at my Instagram page. Look at my Instagram pages. Trust me, I still pull work out here in these streets, okay? Because I still have my necessities, my acting reel, all of that stuff. And I'm building up my stuff, okay? Don't worry about me, honey. I'm good, okay? If I wanted it, I would have it. Let's say that, right? Now, let me be clear. A lot of businesses now use social media as cheap marketing. Before I even break it down to you, what is a content creator, right? What is a YouTuber, a Instagram model, whatever, so on and so forth, what have you? What is that? What does that entail, right? So let's list it out. You have followers, whether that was acquired genuinely and organically or by way of payola, you being in certain groups, paying for followers, things of that nature. And then you have the look, whether you're a man or a woman, and then you have the lifestyle, right? So you have followers, you have the look, you have the lifestyle, you have the camera equipment, and you have the personal time. Should I start doing this math now? You have these major multi-million dollar, keep that in mind, multi-million dollar companies and corporations that reach out to you to purchase your product, which is you and your skill set. Now, this is a skill set that you don't necessarily need to go to college for. So people are like, oh, people who don't necessarily enjoy schooling and academia are like, perfect, great, this is for me, this is fantastic, wonderful, awesome, cool. Usually, because you are not going to college, you start doing this at a younger age, 18, 19, 20. Most of the time you are living alone. If you're not living alone, then you are working maybe 1, 2, 3 jobs to sustain yourself, take care of yourself. Fantastic, wonderful. You're doing what you're doing and all of that good stuff, right? Let's say we have a ad campaign, right? We have these multi-million dollar companies that in a traditional setting would spend anywhere between $30,000 and maybe even $70,000 to set up these ad campaigns, whether it's to create video content, photography content, a 1-minute ad slot, anything within that realm. These companies spend thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars traditionally to hire the marketing company, pre-production, production, talent, post-production. So you hire the marketing company, you have to pay them a certain kind of fee, a certain amount of money. Then from that marketing company goes and they find the crew, they find photographers, they find videographers, they find models, they find actors and actresses, so on and so forth. Then they need to pay PAs, assistants, they need to pay themselves. Then we go through the process of production. Not only do we have to pay all parties involved that collaborate on the project, like I said, we also have to pay the building in which we are using, venue prices. We have to pay for sets, props. We might even have to pay for equipment. Then the company has to donate or give the products that are being used, which takes money out of their pocket. Let's say we haven't even really started shooting yet, and they have already spent a couple bands, okay? Tens of bands. You feel me? They've already spent that money. Haven't even started rolling camera yet. They roll camera and then they have to pay those people hourly. They have to pay them their rate. They have to pay them if they go overtime. They have to provide food, water, okay? Breakfast, lunch, dinner, maybe even housing in terms of hotel fees for certain crew members, certain models. They finish paying for that, might even have to pay for travel. And then they move into post-production. The marketing company oftentimes is not the same as the post-production company. So they have to hire a marketing company and a post-production company, as well as a production company. So they take it to post-production. It can take weeks for these editors to go through photos, videos, make sure that they have light balance, make sure that they're cutting clips properly, they have the right kind of audio, everything. Then at the end of that entire, 2-3 month long process, you have that 1 minute, ad placement ready to go. And maybe some photos and some small videos. Let's say that is, $60,000 for that entire production that I just described. $60,000 for that major corporation. If they did it the traditional way, the old school way. Now we have content creators. And what content creators are people who are the physical embodiment of everybody I just listed. So now, instead of having to hire a marketing company, hire a pre-production, production company, acting, talent, post-production, all of that, instead of having to do that, the marketing company at this major corporation company can just hire a social media influencer or a content creator. So now, instead of spending $60,000 on a project, they give you 5, 10, and you are doing just about everything. Everything meaning this, right? So content creators, what do we say before? Let me talk about women in particular, just for the sake of context, my dears, just for the sake of context. So you have the followers, right? You have the look, the lifestyle, the equipment, and the personal time. Followers, how long does it take someone to build up a large following? Let's say 100K followers. Let's say 10K followers. How long does that take? Go ahead and type it in the comments. How long does that take? Depending on what you do, right? If you're marketing yourself, how long does that take? When you reach that number of followers, let's say for a woman specifically, if it's not based off of like a skill in terms of like you are an artist, you're a painter, you're a singer, even in those cases, you still have to fund a look, create a look, okay? A look meaning a persona, a branding that goes with your appearance. If we think about Beyonce, for instance, right? Beyonce, we all know that Queen Bee has that honey blonde hair. Okay, that little brown honey blonde hair. She rarely ever wears like brunette dark hair, and I don't blame her. It looks, that honey blonde situation highlighted, it looks fantastic on her. Yes, and ma'am, yes, sir. Think about Alicia Keys. What's her sort of look? Braids. Think about Erykah Badu. What's her sort of look? That eclectic, very Afrofuturistic. You see what I'm saying? Janelle Monáe. She has that very, she likes to emulate that working class citizen look with, you know, black and white, professional, you know, going to take care of business kind of look, right? So you have to get these followers, you have to pay for the look, you have to pay for the lifestyle, right? To portray, whether you are, you know, a rich Instagram girl that, you know, is on the yacht with the ballers and all this other stuff, you gotta pay to look nice to be there, because they're not gonna let you sit next to them if you're not looking a certain way, and so on and so forth. You understand what I'm saying? Awesome. So you have all of this stuff that you have to do, right? As a woman, to pay for the look. Let's say you don't even do that. The whole yacht life and all this other stuff. You pay for your look, right? And all of these things, the look, lifestyle, and time, all goes into the followers. In terms of equipment, you don't really need the nicest equipment. You can just have an iPhone and let that be your equipment. And, you know, but even then, if you have the nicest iPhone, you know, that's at least $1,000, right? So you have to have this look and lifestyle to get followers. So when you have your look, right? What do we say goes into the look? You have hair, you have makeup, you have nails. Hair, makeup, nails. You have skincare, skin and body care. You have the gym, right? You gotta go to the gym. Diet, what are you eating? How are you feeding yourself? You can't eat McDonald's because that's gonna fuck up your skin. Hopefully y'all see where I'm going with this. These are all things that are just going into the look. Oh, excuse me, I forgot. Clothes, shoes, bags, accessories, jewelry. So that's already 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 things. And I'm sure that there's a few more that I'm missing. And some of these things can be counted in as lifestyle, right? Here's the thing about lifestyle. Lifestyle and time go hand in hand. So you have all of these things that go into the look, right? Next, you have the lifestyle. So what goes into the lifestyle? Diet, appearance. You have your home, material possessions. Diet, appearance, your home, your material possessions, let that be your car, you know, in terms of clothes, shoes, bag, jewelry, what kind, what brand is it? Is it name brand? Is it designer? All of that stuff, etc., right? And then you have my real favorite part, and the thing that I really want to talk about here, equipment. Think about this. Think about this in terms of not necessarily amateur, but maybe a more professional YouTuber, so on and so forth. Now, keep in mind, each of these things here cost money. Each of these things here that I have listed costs you money. We're talking about comparisons here. Major marketing companies spending 60, 70 grand to do the same thing that they're hiring you to do for 5, 10 grand. And all of these things cost money, and we didn't even get into the equipment yet, right? So equipment, which is a little bit more technical, baby. So equipment, we have, now if they're using a more professional grade camera, DSLR. The thing about DSLR cameras is they sell the bodies separate from the lenses. So this is just the body. The body, girl. This is just the body, girl. This camera that I'm shooting on right now is a Canon T5i Rebel. Canon Rebel T5i, right? And I bought the body used for about $300. Now, a lot of these other girls out here are buying these things brand spanking new. So we gonna add a couple hundred to that, 700, right? That's just on the camera body. This is just for some cameras. Now, the lens can cost you a brand new lens about 200, 150, 200. Let's just say 200, depending on what kind of camera you're using, right? Then you need audio equipment. This lav mic cost me, I want to say maybe $30, $40 on Amazon. But when you want studio professional audio equipment with, separate mics and they have separate memory cards to go along with it, girl, they're about 300 for that, just for audio equipment. Then you have lighting. You have a ring light. This ring light cost me, I want to say about $80. But most of those girls, they don't have just no regular ring light, baby. They got the ring light, they got the soapbox, okay, reflectors. Let's put another 300 on lighting. You see what I'm getting at here, people? Do you see what I'm getting at here? Then you have to pay for tripod, because the camera don't come with the tripod. Tripod you can get for about, I'm gonna say about 150, depending on what kind of camera you have. Maybe even 100, really. Then you have to pay for background. Background ties into lifestyle, ties into your home. So technically, if you're not using a background like a green screen, or using a background like what did my dad used to use when he took photos? It's just the plain background on like the roll, and you can kind of like bring it down like shades. Even that is at least $200. But a lot of these girls, they're using their personal home as a background. So really, your background is your rent. So whether that be $1,500 a month plus, memory cards, let's say 40, 50, about 40, 50 bucks, depending on what kind of camera you have. I'm gonna just say 40, right? Now you need SD cards for the cameras and for the audio. SD cards aren't that expensive. I'm gonna say about, depending on how many gigabytes you'll need, which you'll want a card with much larger space on it. So you're gonna pay more money for that. That's about 30 bucks plus for a memory card for the camera. And then you have to pay for the memory card for the audio, because you have a separate audio system. Laptop, computer. I'm running out of fucking space, baby. That's at least $1,000 right there. If you're using a Mac, if you're using something smaller, maybe a Windows, something like that, which most people prefer editing on a Mac, and I prefer editing on a Mac. I have my MacBook Pro, just because it's a lot easier to maneuver, right? And Macs are less likely to catch bugs and viruses that will slow your computer down. They're easier to clean, all that good stuff. Hard drive. If you have a Mac, baby, that hard drive is like $60 plus, $70, $80, right? For the hard drive, depending on how big it is, how many terabytes, how much things is on this paper. You have the hard drive, then you have the editing software. Almost forgot. You have the editing software, which can be about $200 plus. What kind you're using, if you're a Final Cut Pro. A lot of people like to stick with the classic iMovie, but if you do want to have like a better resolution and everything like that, then Final Cut. I personally use Adobe Premiere, and I will say that Adobe is $30 a month for the monthly fee. 30 times 12 is $360 a year that I'm paying every year. Which I prefer just in case, just as a tester, as a for now kind of thing, until I decide to fully purchase the Adobe Premiere software and have it downloaded. Then you also, there's updating software and all of that stuff, right? So we have all these things listed. We didn't even get into your personal time. The personal time it takes you to edit, film, memorize lines or whatever it is, read your brief to figure out what the content needs to be about, what you need, what are your focal points, editing, and then making sure it's correct and it has the right kind of music, sending it off to the company sends it back, re-edit it, you have to re-edit it. And then on top of that, you still are creating content. So if we just take these numbers down here, baby, we ain't even gonna get to the hair, nails, makeup, skin care, body care, gym, diet, clothes, shoes, bags, jewelry. We're not even there. We're just talking about fucking equipment right now. You feel me? Got my handy dandy iPhone calculator right here. Let's see, we have the DSLR body, $700, plus the lens, $200, plus the audio equipment, $300, plus the lighting, $300, plus the tripod, I'm gonna say $100, plus the memory card, $40, plus the SD cards, $30, times what, however much, right? Editing software, $200, hard drive, $60, laptop, your laptop, your computer, your Mac, $1,000, right? Then on top of that, you have your rent, which factors in, that's, let's say $1,500. You've already spent $3,530, baby, on just the equipment alone. And quite frankly, I would suggest that all content creators include the price of every piece of equipment, editing software, anything that you use every time you book a gig. Yes, well, I just paid for it one time, but you're using it consistently. And if these pieces of equipment ever break down, fall, fail, anything like that, you're gonna have to replace the equipment, right? I completely forgot to include external batteries on this list of equipment. Let me see if I can find a plate. Batteries. I mean, I had to, for my camera, at least I bought a double pack for, I wanna say about 30, 40 bucks, 2,560, right? And that's just a rough estimate because I'm not even including taxes. Because you pay taxes on items that you buy, don't you? I'm not even including taxes on these items, am I? I'm not. And how much money was that marketing company paying you? 5,000? 10,000? And that's not even including all this stuff I was talking about up here, all the hair, makeup, nails, and booking appointments, and you have to drive there, so that's gas money. But see, the thing about people that major brands understand, because they're so good at marketing, that's why they're a major brand, they understand that people want to feel, especially people that are below a certain line of wealth, they know that people like that want to feel a sense of luxury, they want to feel a sense of importance, and they want to feel a sense of inclusion. Luxury, importance, inclusion, right? So they can slide you a little bit of money. They can slide you a little bit of money for you to spend your time pampering your look, creating a lifestyle, living a lifestyle that is desirable to other people so that they feel like more inclined to want to purchase or participate in the product that you're advertising, equipment that you personally use and need, time, your personal time. And people so often wonder, you know, Zakiya, why aren't you doing all this other stuff? Because baby, they could never pay me enough. They can't pay me enough. And in the meantime, my bills, y'all saw the budgeting video, those bills hit monthly. So I need to be doing all of this, buying all this equipment, and then taking care of my physical appearance, and then trying to strive to get into a home that looks nice and blah, 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 blah. And then I have to pay rent on that home. And then, you know, depending on what kind of city you live in, your cost of living can go up in comparison to the minimum wage. I mean, living in LA, for example, higher cost of living, more expensive places to live, your car insurance goes up. You actually, in some places, pay more money for gas, pay more money for services, pay more money for food, groceries. But y'all don't think about it because you're young and dumb and excited. And these companies will bank on that. Now, I'm not saying that you don't need to be working with these companies and so on and so forth. What I'm saying is make sure that you're getting your money's worth. Make sure that these people are paying you what you are worth, which is why I said, factor in the cost of everything you need to make that production that they want to happen. But then at the same time, here you go, you can't even do that. Why not? Why can't I? Well, if I can just add these numbers together and then just give them a price. No. You know why? Because maybe the price you're asking for doesn't match up with your follower count. Or better yet, the price that you're trying to give, they already set the budget. They already said to themselves, yeah, we have this huge marketing campaign that we need to do. Let's just get a little influencer and throw them 5,000. So they come to you and ask you to do it. You give them the numbers and they look at you and say, girl, are you crazy? Boy, are you crazy? Because Mary Sue down the street and around the corner will do this exact same shit for probably less than what we want you to do it for, than what we're offering you. All I'm asking you to do is math. Make sure your math is mathing, baby. Make sure that shit is making fucking sense and it's adding up properly, because these marketing companies ain't gonna do it for you. Now, on the other end of that spectrum, you have the workers. I can speak for, models and actors and people of that nature who, sometimes when we sign these deals with these major brands, it's not like when you do a commercial and you get royalty checks. When I work with a major brand and they use my image, I don't get paid for them to use each time they use my image. I was already paid for the time on set for the production. And I voluntarily signed away any sort of right I had to ask for royalties when I said, you can use my image in perpetuity, which means forever. The images that you collect, you can use them in perpetuity to market your brand, so on and so forth. Now, is it fantastic? I got a cute little check and, some exposure. Yeah, it's nice. It's nice. Still, my bills hit every month. And so that money that I get paid for those gigs, baby, it comes and goes. At this point in time, I feel more comfortable with that than I do with the idea of having to sacrifice certain things for this idea of social media marketing. Okay, listen, I have seen it with my own two eyes. I'm not living at home with my mom and my dad so that I can have money to spend on clothes, shoes, hair, nails, and bags so that I can post them on Instagram. I'm not doing that. Are you out of your mind? Have you met my parents? And I was hi parents. I'm not doing that. I did not go through 4 or 5 years of college just to graduate and still live at home. That's whack to me. That might be cool for you. And if it is, good for you, baby. But for me, no. No. And a lot of these girls will tell you stories of how they were living at home with their parents and they had to, order clothes and then send them back. Order clothes to take pictures in them and then send them back when they were done. Couldn't even keep the stuff. You up in here perpetrating things that you don't even really own. That's whack to me. I can't do that. Anything you see me wear, I own. Unless it was like on a runway or something. And even then, I have like a handful of stuff that when I've done runway shows, I own some of those pieces. And I will never let them go. Just make sure the math is mathing, baby. Make sure the math is mathing. Make sure you calculate everything, okay? We doing this shit like taxes. What are your expenses? What were the expenses that you had during the year? Because now you're a business. And a lot of times when companies throw you that little $5,000, $10,000, they're just really just paying you for your time. They're not even really, if you include the expenses into that paying you for your time, you ain't making no money. Now, mind you, this is for people who are if you, have equipment for, days and days and days, and people that have been doing this for longer periods of time and stuff like that, they're in a better position, a better financial position to save that money and, allocate it properly and all of this other stuff, depending on where they live too. If they live in the South, you already know housing is cheap. So that's a whole other thing in itself. But depending on where they live, listen, I'm just, maybe, I mean, so just so you can see what I'm talking about, Raven, what I'm talking about. Equipment that's already $3,000, $4,000 in itself. Now you gotta add on hair, makeup, nails, clothes, jewelry. I mean, some of y'all bitches be spending $1,000 on hair because you bald headed. Makeup. I'm a makeup artist, baby. Makeup can get expensive, and then you gotta find the right one that fits your shade matching. We can't even go in the store and shade match anymore. Nails, I mean, listen, Cardi B spent a lot of money on her nails. For length, okay, design, jewelry, skincare, body care. You got acne prone skin, body care, you need the nice oils and lotions and potions. Even if the company is giving you some of this stuff to advertise and to market, you still, it's only one piece of the puzzle. It's insanity. It's insanity. Just be careful, y'all. Just be careful and make sure that you are getting paid what you are worth. Make sure you're getting paid what you are worth, because Lord, and don't even try to act like or think about them paying you, you know what I'm saying, $60,000, $70,000 over some stuff. Now, maybe some influencers gonna see this and pop out and be like, no, sis, I'm collecting 100,000 on the stuff, bloopy whoop, bloop, bloop, bloop. Okay, how long have you been doing all this to get to that point where they started paying you that much money? Hey, this is Editing Zakiya. I usually come at you, I usually come at you from a different angle, but I'm in the midst of kind of breaking down my filming setup, and I just remembered in my mind, you know, the sort of comparison that people like to make when they say, well, my eyebrows look all far apart and whatnot. Now somebody's gonna be like, your eyebrows are far apart. Let me joke. When someone says like, oh, well, you know, I don't want to pay for school. I don't want to pay for school. You don't want to pay for school. This is where your money is going to go. So what I'm saying is, either way, that money is going somewhere. It's just going to something that, you know, you enjoy more so than sitting in a classroom, which doesn't make it better or worse. It's just going to a different place in a different space. And, you know, they might not be using the degree that you've acquired to hire you for a job, but they are using all of these things that you have acquired to hire you for a job. And imagine you're doing this and you're in school. You see what I'm saying? So either way, we're fucked. I'm just kidding. We're not fucked, but like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's a lot. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's a lashes. That's a lot. Okay. Yeah, I just want to come make that point. You know, that part. You know what I'm saying? All right, I'll let the video continue. Here's the thing about college, right? For certain fields, let's say an IT tech, an IT person can really get a certificate or a associate's degree and graduate, and within a month they're being paid a substantial amount of money a year already, off rip. High demand field, right? Me, for instance, I am proud to say I have my bachelor's of fine arts in screenwriting, and I am in no rush because I'm that type of artist. I'm in no rush. I have my whole life to do this shit. I'm not in a fucking rush. Don't fucking rush me either. Right? It takes time to think of good, solid stories, and you know, you still have to live life and experience things and all of that. And if you look at the industry, a lot of these people, they didn't start out really young, are, you know, in their late 30s, early 40s, taking off, career just taking off. Not to say that mine can't, but right now, this is the life I chose, and I am content with that. I'm content with that, trust me. But man, y'all kids, with that shit right there, this fucking shit right here, don't ask me about this. Do not ask me about this, bro. Don't do it. Because I have no response for you. None. And I mean, Jiminy Christmas. On that note, hopefully, you know what I'm saying, I just laid down some game for somebody. Just to put yourself in perspective. Put your life in perspective. That's really what I should be saying to y'all. Put your life into perspective. Put things into perspective, excuse me, and remember to be practical. Especially if you don't come from a situation where you can just rely on and depend on and lean on and live off of family and friends and stuff like that. Especially if you, like in my case, want to be an adult and want to go out there and, you know, live life and I mean, technically pay bills and you know, not only grow in your career and your artistry, but grow in yourself. Have some self, you know, growth. It is getting late. Okay. Good night. Good day. Really, it's like I've been filming for quite some time, a few hours now. And it's 10 o'clock. Shout out to Jonathan who took this picture of me. You can see it on my Instagram, along with some other photos. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Like, share, subscribe. Let me know how you feel. Let me know if I was, you know, kicking game to you. I'm not saying don't get into this, you know, social media stuff, but remember, if you ain't no 16-year-old little white girl, then living at home with her folks, then, you know, okay. Yeah, I will see you next time, next episode.